Apart from 200-watt Marshall major stacks and Fender Stratocaster guitars, Ritchie Blackmore did use guitar pedals to create his unique guitar tone. In the 60s, Blackmore used the following pedals: Maestro Gibson Fuzz Tone, Solasound Tone Bender, and Clyde McCoy Wah Wah. These devices Ritchie Blackmore used along with his favorite Vox AC30 amp cranked to full volume. In the 70s, during Deep Purple's and Rainbow's live shows, you can see a Marshall box. It's smaller than a Marshall head. This is a Marshall Fuzz reverb unit which Blackmore used to add reverb and fuzz effects to his guitar tone. He also had a Hornby Skews treble booster. This pedal was used by Blackmore in the early days of 69 through 73 during Smoke on the Water time to overdrive amplifiers such as Marshall Blues Breakers and the Vox AC30s. It not only gave Ritchie a bit more treble, but it also gave him just a fraction of distortion. While recording the Machine Head album, Deep Purple were looking for a distorted organ sound, and Ritchie suggested to John Lord, "Why don't we plug your organ through my Hornby Skews and into my amp and see how an organ sounds like that?" So they did it. And John loved that sound. That's actually the sound we hear, for instance, on Smoke on the Water. You can see the booster in the old photos of Deep Purple. The other fuzz pedal was a Dallas Arbiter fuzz face in the form of a huge smiley. Ritchie Blackmore had an octave pedal in his arsenal as well. That was an Arbiter Add-A-Sound. As for delay effects, he had Arbiter Soundet and a WEM Watkins copycat. In the 70s, Blackmore started using a phaser effect. His first phaser pedal was a Univibe. Hendrix used one. Later, he used a Gerd Schultz compact phasing A, which tone can be heard on songs like Catch the Rainbow and Gates of Babylon. In this photo, Blackmore held a string driver. That's a heat sound E-bow, which is used to produce a variety of sounds not playable on a guitar using traditional strumming or picking techniques. Around the time of the Burn sessions, Blackmore experimented with the EMS Synth Hi-Fly guitar synthesizer. You can hear it on the track Sail Away on the Burn album. Here is a Moog Taurus bass pedal. This is a foot-operated analog synthesizer designed and manufactured by Moog Music. Let's listen to what it sounds like. Blackmore used this synthesizer as keyboards for his solo performances. Here is a 1977 video of Ritchie Blackmore using a Moog Taurus pedal. It was used till 1997 by Ritchie. Around the fall of 1973 or early 1974, specifically for Deep Purple's Mark III lineup, Blackmore began using his Aiwa TP-1011 tape machine. He modified it from a regular tape recorder to an echo unit. It also preamp and boosted the signal going to the amp, and Ritchie liked the distortion effect through that tape recorder. Pretty smart stuff. The tape machine was on record and it worked like a continual echo, over and over again. Ritchie Blackmore told that most echo machines were awful and they sounded like you were in a hallway. The Aiwa tape recorder didn't interfere with a note he played. He can control the delay time. For example, in Deep Purple, that was a third of a second. Later in Rainbow, the delay was two-thirds of a second. He could have it loud with no distortion. He could start or stop it by using a little foot pedal on stage. Even in 2013, Ritchie Blackmore didn't forget his Aiwa. Even though the recording function doesn't work anymore, he still uses it as a booster. In the mid-1980s, Blackmore moved on to experimenting with Roland guitar synthesizers. In the late 90s, all Ritchie Stratocasters were equipped with black Roland GK1 pickups. The MIDI cable connects the Roland GK1 pickup to the Roland GR700 converter, so guitar has two cables, guitar cable and MIDI cable. Here is Ritchie Blackmore's 1995 rack. It contains, get this, a Gemini PL9 power supply, Roland GR50 guitar synthesizer, Korg DT1 Pro digital tuner, Digitech GFX1 twin tube lamp preamp, digital effects processor, Gemini PVX30 graphic equalizer, and Yamaha MV802 linear mixer at the bottom. Since 1994, Blackmore switched from Marshall amps to Engls. I love Engls, they're a great amp. Later, Ritchie Blackmore's signature model was released to try to combine his past rig and offer a larger, more modern tonal palette. Blackmore uses his Engls for the Rainbow tours, as Ritchie loves all German. He likes the fact that the amp is manufactured by a German company. When Ritchie was living in Connecticut, a friend asked him, "Have you tried this little amp called Engl?" Ritchie replied that he just uses his big Marshalls. However, Ritchie always preferred smaller amps like his Vox AC30, because you can crank them up. He explains that a smaller amp allows to contain the sound more. So, Ritchie tried a little Engl amp and liked it. Engl started making these amps for Ritchie, and he's been using them ever since. And just on a personal note, Engls are one amp that I never bought and wished I would have.